Hey yo, what is happening guys? This is Nature coming at you with another video. So today I actually have some news regarding the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now before I actually start with these news, I must say a huge apology for not uploading as much or as frequently as I used to due to me actually getting the flu. I'm not sure if you can hear it. Even in my most recent post I have not been using any audio because I have not been feeling very well and I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I still had to make this video because it is great news, very big news for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So without further ado, let's just dive straight into it, and thank you so much for understanding and still watch my videos, very much appreciated. So let's dive in with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Of course, Final Fantasy VII Remake adds a new director to the Final Fantasy VII project. This is major news, official news as well, so it's really good that we are hearing this right here. Despite a number of development stumbles in the nearly 4 years since being announced, Square Enix looks to stay committed to one day releasing the long-awaited Final Fantasy VII Remake. While the reimagining of the 1997's Final Fantasy VII will be a multi-part series, there is a new addition of development team that hopefully will steer the game in the right direction as a full-scale production of the project begins. Now, of course, there have been interviews where they did say the product is in full development, and Tetsuya Nomura himself did say they are actually in development, they're not an early concept anymore, which is really good stuff, and I'm just so excited to actually hear that we are getting a new person on board. While April 1st is usually tied to fake gaming announcements and jokes, it also makes the beginning of the game company Square Enix's fiscal year. It's very ironic that it's Square Enix's start of the year, but yeah, it is what it is. Well, the company has voiced its intentions of internal restructuring. News today revealed that Naoki Hamaguchi, sorry if I butchered that name, who's been working on as Final Fantasy VII as a development lead, has been promoted to co-director for the game and will be working alongside Tetsuya Nomura as the lead their team into the game's production stage. This is very big. This is a really big upgrade, really big promotion. So nice job, Hamaguchi. So Hamaguchi, while now tasked with a more prominent role for the project, appears to have been more aware in learning of his new role than Nomura was. Shortly after Final Fantasy VII Remake was revealed at Sony's 2015 E3 press conference, Nomura was surprised to learn that he'd been appointed as the Final Fantasy VII Remake director. Nomura's directorial surprise turned out to be just one of many miscommunications between not just the team at Square Enix, but also the third-party developer CyberConnect 2, who'd originally contracted to aid in development. Now, actually, I want to go into Hamaguchi, why this is actually very good, after reading this article. So, with production timelines being stretched longer than expected and Square Enix overseeing full development 2 years ago, Nomura admitted Final Fantasy VII Remake was revealed too early, thus setting unrealistic expectations for a company which, at the time, was still working and released two of its long in development projects, Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3. I have to agree with Tetsuya Nomura on this because, you know, it has been too much of an early release to be announced. The Final Fantasy VII Remake, it was too early announced, he said it himself, and the fact that Final Fantasy 15 as well as Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't release, they were overshadowed by Final Fantasy VII Remake when it was first released. Let's all admit that. So yeah, but right here, as recently as late 2018, however, Nomura had provided an update of Final Fantasy VII Remake's development. He mentioned Kingdom Hearts 3 was primarily focused for the company with just months left before the game's release, Now with Kingdom Hearts 3 finally launching back in January, Square Enix is now full steam ahead of the remake's development. Now of course this means a lot of good stuff. That means there's a co-director to also kind of speed up development, but at the same time I would not want them to speed up the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now of course there have been talks about dev kits which are going towards the next generation of consoles, so this makes me believe that Final Fantasy VII Remake will be within that type of transitioning type gen, with the cross-gen type of game, such as games like Watch Dogs 1, and then you get other different types of games like the WWE yearly games that release. You also get some specific games such as The Last of Us, where there's The Last of Us remastered on the PS4 when The Last of Us the original was released back on the PS3. These are actually the type of games I compare the Final Fantasy VII Remake to. The transitioning stage most likely is going to be something similar to that of the Tomb Raider series. The Tomb Raider series is one game franchise that I can actually compare the Final Fantasy VII Remake episodic treatment towards, because the trilogy for the Tomb Raider, or the reboot trilogy, which is also made by Square Enix, is very much something I can compare the remake to because of one thing. This was also one of those games that were like it was released in 2013, which is of course something on the PS3 no less. So this one game released on the PS3, then got the definitive edition on the PS4, then came Rise of the Tomb Raider again on the PS4, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider last year actually released on the PS4. Now this all should show you that, you know, Square Enix's IPs can be cross-gen multi-platforms, but of course this is Final Fantasy and this is Tomb Raider. Now of course this is Square Enix, so when you see Square Enix, one thing that comes to mind first is Final Fantasy or one of the other JRPG titles. Tomb Raider is something of a high priority, don't get me wrong, because you know it's a big gaming icon, but also is Final Fantasy VII Remake because, well, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just a big game that no one can actually say is going to be a non-anticipated game. There is definitely anticipation for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Another thing I want to talk about is Tetsuya Nomura. Now Tetsuya Nomura does not belong to any business division. That's why he can do what he does. He goes to various projects all at once, and that's a known fact. However, Hamaguchi is part of business division 1, so that is of course something to take into perspective. So that means whenever Tetsuya Nomura is going around, wherever he is going for Kingdom Hearts 4, Final Fantasy 16, oh, please give this man a break. He has been through so much. This basically means that Hamaguchi will be still looking over everything for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and of course Square Enix employees do the best they can, and Square Enix's openings and endings within video games are just amazing, and that's why I really think that Tetsuya Nomura having a co-director alongside him is going to make this game even more something bigger to look forward to, because there's going to be more people taking charge, and that means there's going to be more development being done in a very small space in time, and I'm really excited about that, and I cannot wait for any more news to come out because I'm really excited about Final Fantasy VII Remake. This news itself just makes me really happy. So yeah, anyway guys, that is it for the video. Please leave a like, helps me out a lot. Comment down in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? Share with friends, because sharing is caring, and most importantly, subscribe to become a fellow lightning bolt. Anyway guys, that is it for this video, and as always, this is the Lightning Chat. Blaze out.